some theoretical orientation.
Hello.
प्लीज समस्ते म्यूट करंतु।
मो मोबाइल थरे आउ थरे ट्राई कर दवा देखिबा सुना गला जे कोन केतल मझिर मझिर पहुंच सुना गला। हेलो
Yes sir, hello.
am I audible?
Yes sir.
मो कथा सुना जाउची की?
Yes sir.
Okay. So let's now start. Yesterday we were discussing about the contribution and the thoughts of different Indian as well as Western educationists about on the early childhood care and education. And today we'll discuss some about some of the important organizations, both in state level, at the national level, as well as at the international level. There are various organizations, those who are taking care of the early childhood care and education. It is wise to say you all that you must be aware that there are certain children, those who are considered as the orphans because of the sad demise of their parents, father or mother. So, and there are many organizations in the country as well as throughout the globe to take care of this type of children. Here we will be discussing some of the important organizations, those who are working for the welfare of the children, especially in these type of categories as well as in general. You see, at the national level, there are few government organizations. There are 4 government organizations which are in fact working for the welfare of or for the development of early childhood care and education. One is NCERT, full form of which is National Council for Educational Research and Training. NCERT's headquarters is located at New Delhi, and it has 5 branches in the name of Regional Institute of Education, which is covering the entire nation in 5 zones. These 5 institutions are located at different places, and the work of this NCERT is nothing but to develop equipments, teaching learning materials for the early childhood education. There are in fact 5 RIs. One is at Ajmer, another is at Bhopal, and one is here at Bhubaneswar, and another is there at Mysore, and recently one new RI is opened in northeastern states, that is at Meghalaya, Shillong. So RI actually in fact it develops teaching learning materials for the children. You must be knowing, you must be aware that nowadays whatever books that we are referring for the school children, all these study materials are developed at the nationwide, are developed by the NCERT, National Council for Educational Research and Training. So it is the work of the NCERT to develop suitable teaching learning materials for the children of early age. And then we have another organization that is called as National Institute of Public Cooperation and Child Development. In short, it is NIPCCD. NIPCCD acts as a link between government and the voluntary organization. We will be discussing the role of voluntary organizations and different leading voluntary organizations working at the state level as well as the national level later. But this organization NIPCCD in fact is linking the government with these private or voluntary organizations. These voluntary organizations are in fact, they are taking care of whatever actions are being taken by them is being reviewed and guided by the central government. There are also other organizations, one organization that is called as National Children's Board by NCB. You must have heard about it. NCB is the organization which is headed by our Honorable Prime Minister. Actually, Prime Minister coordinates everything in this type of organization. It also tried to link up with the voluntary organizations working at the national as well as at the state level. Then we have one more organization that is called as Central Social Welfare Board, CSWB, which is established, the head office is at New Delhi, which is established in the year 1950. And the main function of this board is to encourage voluntary action for social welfare in the country. In those places where there are no voluntary organizations, the board promotes the setting up of such organizations. And practically, it is not practically possible on the part of the government to move out or to take care of all the parts of the nation. It may be a little difficult task for the government. That's why for the nook and corner of this country, government encourages voluntary organizations, स्वेच्छासेवी संगठन माने सेमाने चाहिले तांको गां गहळ रे तांको पंचायत एरिया रे तांको ब्लॉक एरिया रे तांको जिला स्तर रे बा राज्य स्तरीय सेमाने बहुत किछि काम करि परिबे ए छोट छोट पिला माननको पाई जो मानकर की निहाती आवश्यकता अछि. Then about these organizations, in fact, some of the important programs run by the board are awareness generation projects for rural poor women, Balwadi nutrition program, condensed courses for education of adult women, vocational training courses, creches for children, hostels for working women, and Mahila Mandalas. This Central Social Welfare Board actually used to work for this type of activities, and these activities directly or indirectly are definitely influencing the process of early childhood care and education. You see, earlier, while we were children at that time, there was one active organization which was called as, that is what you call the, that was condensed course for women. जो स्त्री लोक माने आग काल रे पाठ पढ़ी नथिले सेमाने केमती सीधा सड़क मैट्रिक परीक्षा दे परिबे से पई व्यवस्था करा जाइथिला. मु एतर पिला हाइथिली मु देखिछि से वर्तमान अवश्य से ऑर्गेनाइजेशन गुडाकर किछ आवश्यकता सरकार उपलब्धि करि परनांती आवश्यकता मु नाही मोदे पण से पई वर्तमान प्राय सुडाक डिफंक्ट सुडा गां गहळ रे आगु काम करथला एवं सेमाने जो स्त्री लोक माने पाठ पढ़िबा को चाहुथिले किंतु कोनोसी कारणवशत पाठ पढ़ी पारि नथिले सेमानकु पाठ पढ़िबार सुजोग दिया जाउथिला एवं सेमाने सीधा सड़क भाव रे घरे पढ़ा पढ़ी करिक सीधा सड़क भाव रे मैट्रिक परीक्षा देकरी सेमाने विभिन्न कार्यक्रम रे जोग देई पारुथिले. अवेयरनेस जनरेशन प्रोजेक्ट्स फॉर रूरल पोर वुमेन सेमानक पे अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम मध्य करूची जो सेंट्रल सोशल वेलफेयर बोर्ड से अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम रे this was launched in 1986. The program provides a platform for rural poor women to come together and exchange their views and experiences. It also motivates them to achieve their rights and fight against social evils like alcoholism, cruelty against women, and child abuse. ए सब जिनस ऊपर तमन देखुथिबो एते एक्टिवली समाने काम करूचंती विशेषकर सेंट्रल सोशल वेलफेयर बोर्ड सेमानकर काम देखु तुम जो मद भाटी भांगी देले कोटी मद उच्छेद पई गां रे लोक मान महिला माने लागुचंती ए सब कार्यक्रम definitely is controlled and instigated and managed by the Central Social Welfare Board. Then Balwadi Nutrition Program, this program was launched in the year 1971 at the national level. The aim of this program is to provide supplementary food to children in the age group of 3 to 5 years through Balwadis and day care centers. तेणु से केमती छोट छोट पिला केमती उचित पुष्टिकर खाद्य जोगा जाई परिबो से विषय से काम करछंती. देन वी हैव कंडेंस्ड कोर्सेस फॉर वुमेन रेडी जा जो विषय म आगुरु कहि सारिछि जो महिला माने पाठ पढ़ी नथिले से शिक्षा ग्रहण करिवार ଗୋଟେ सुजोग दिया जाई पारुछि. Then we have other organizations like creches for children. In the creches for children, what happens? There are, you must be knowing, there are lot of working women जो माने कि लेबर क्लास ठार आरंभ करी विभिन्न प्रकार कार्यक्रम से माने करूछन्ते. काली आमे नेपाल कथा आलोचना करथुले जोठी कि से माने पाळी करी पिला मानकु जगंती से भाया सिस्टम जो नही पर से गोटे वॉलंटियर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन करा जायछि जोटा कि दैट वर्क्स एज ए क्रेचेस दैट मींस से माने जो पिला मानकर बापा मां माने विभिन्न काम रे व्यस्त श्रमजीवी हंतु बा गृहिणी हंतु से मानकु जदि आवश्यक क्षेत्र रे से मानकु सहयोग जोगै दियंती एवं से माने से मानक पिला मानकर जत्न मध्य नै थांती then hostels for working women you must have learned about it जो माने महिला मान जो कार्यरत महिला मान को पई विभिन्न जगह रे हॉस्टल व्यवस्था मध्य करा जायछि and this is also a volunteer organization organized by the government of India. And we have Mahila Mandalas program is implemented in those rural areas where there are no volunteer organizations available for taking up the welfare programs for women and children. जो एरिया रे परिका कार्यक्रम किछ हो नाही किछ स्वच्छासेवी संगठन किछ गड़ा जाय नाही से सब एरिया रे काम करबा पई ओटे महिला मंडल गठन करा जाउ अछि. And we have volunteer organizations. These are all government aided organizations. And we have also number of volunteer organizations. Volunteer organizations, what do you mean by volunteer organization? Volunteer organizations are the organizations which are motivated, which are organized, which are created by some motivated persons of the society. किछि मोटिवेटेड लोकों को द्वारा गढ़ा जाइथिबा किछि संगठन को हमें वॉलंटरी या स्वेच्छासेवी संगठन बोली कहितांती. Say volunteer organization with national outreach, innovative projects in the state, international volunteer organization, UN agencies. We have different types of volunteer organizations. We have volunteer organizations with national outreach, volunteer organizations at the state level, and we have international volunteer organizations, as well as we have United Nations agencies like UNICEF and others. National volunteer organizations are Indian Council for Child Welfare. The Indian Council for Child Welfare is a premier organization in the field of child welfare development. The council was set up in the year 1952. It runs programs for the benefit of children, particularly from the weaker sections of the society. It has branches all over the country. सारा भारत वर्ष रे तांकर विभिन्न प्रकार ब्रांच अछि, विभिन्न जगह रे ब्रांच अछि. सेमानकर कामला जो माने डिप्राइव जो माने कि सुविधा सुयोग रु वंचित होइचंदी जो स्त्री लोक बा पिला माने सेमानक पई किछ कार्य करबा सेमानक कि सहायता सहयोग करबा होचे एक प्रकार ऑर्गेनाइजेशन उद्देश्य. एमाने मध्य इन एडिशन टू दिस ICCW Indian Council for Child Welfare also organizes training program for Anganwadi workers. बाल सेविका ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम मध्य माने करूचंती एवं इन एडिशन टू दैट दे आर आल्सो कंडक्टिंग द एनरिचमेंट प्रोग्राम फॉर ट्रेनर्स. जो माने ट्रेनर सेमान को मत ओरिएंटेशन प्रोग्राम दोचंती एनरिचमेंट प्रोग्राम सेमान पय करचंती जा फल रे सेमाने बेटर ट्रेनिंग देई परिबे जो माने वर्कर सेमान को. क्रेच वर्कर्स ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम जो माने क्रेच रे काम करचन जो माने छोट छोट पिला जत्न आपे विभिन्न कार्यरत महिला बा गृहिणी मान पाक जाउचंदी से माने केमिति से पिला मान जत्न नेबे से विषय तांको ट्रेनिंग दिया जाउची. इन एडिशन टू दैट दे आर आल्सो ऑर्गेनाइजिंग ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स फॉर बालवाड़ी न्यूट्रिशन प्रोग्राम. बालवाड़ी रे केमति न्यूट्रिशन प्रोग्राम इंप्लीमेंट करा से कथा मते कहउचंती एवं अर्ली चाइल्डहुड केयर एंड एजुकेशन प्रोग्राम रे मते से माने पार्टिसिपेट करूचंती तानो ट्रेनिंग दिया जाउची. Then we have another organization, another program organized by Indian Council for Women Nutrition. That is what you call mobile creches. Mobile creches माने से विषय तुम पढ़िथिबो टिके DEC 1 से विषय रे यूनिट 29 and 32 रे DEC रे से विषय टिके ऑर्गेनाइज टिके आलोचना मत करा जायथिला. Mobile creches provides day care facilities for looking after the health, nutritional, educational and recreational needs of children of construction laborers. 3 types of services are provided for children in different age groups. Creche for children below 3 years of age, Balwadi for children aged 3 to 6 years, and non-formal education from 6 to 12 years of children. The organization is presently running a chain center at Delhi, Mumbai, and Pune. Other activities like holiday camps and exhibitions and celebrations of social events are also conducted by the organization. Then we have one more organization that is called as SOS, Children's Villages of India. Save Our Soul, SOS. That is also a branch located at Bhubaneswar, nearer to Khandagiri. So, as you know, that many children became orphans. किछि पिलामाने थांती कोनोसी कारणरो हो युद्ध क्षेत्र रे सैनिक मानकर काल मृत्यु हो बा जहाँ भी हो शहीद हो घटना हो बा कौन सी नेचुरल कैलामिटीज रे आमे काली ना परदिन जो वर्षा होता तार 7 जन लोक मरी जाइछन्ति एमती अनेक समय रे दैविक दुर्विपाक हो बा किछि अव्यवस्था सामाजिक अव्यवस्था हो युद्ध क्षेत्र रे हो बहुत समय रे बहुत लोक माने बलिदान देई थांती बा प्राण त्याग तांकर देह त्याग कर मरी जाई से समय रे छोट छोट पिला मानन को गाइड करबा पई तांको पेरेंटल से जो तांको जो पेरेंटल नीड टा को फुलफिल करबा पई देयर आर सर्टेन विलेजेस वॉलंटियर ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस आर ओपन दैट इज कॉल्ड एज सेव आवर सोल सेठी कोन हे जी ना पिला मानन को से माने किछि लोक थांती जो माने रियल सोशल वर्कर्स आई हैव सीन देम they used to adopt some of the children deprived or say orphan children as their own children तांको निजो पिला भलिया से माने तांको अडॉप्ट करके रखि थांती जेमति तांको निजे तांकर बापा बा मां हेकरी तांकर सब कथा दैनंदिन रो आवश्यकता सहित तांकर पाठ पढ़ा तांकर खाइबा तांकर खेल तांकर रुचि अभिरुचि सब विषय से माने सचेतन थांती एवं से माननको कथा को से माने भलो भाबरे ध्यान देकी तांको बढ़ाई थांती से बड़ा विभिन्न ऑर्गेनाइजेशन अच्छी प्रोवाइड्स ए होम टू चिल्ड्रन हु हैव लॉस्ट देयर पेरेंट्स और आर होमलेस फॉर अदर रीजंस जो माने तंग बाप मां को हरे दी थांती छोट छोट पिला बेले बा जन्मरु से मानन को एक्चुअली गोटे घर बोली गोटे तांको मन रे गोटे कांसेप्ट जात करा दे घर वैकुंठ समान आहा अटे सेही घर परस्पर स्नेह जई आए निरंतर से बड़ा गोटे घरर कांसेप्ट से पिला माननको पाखरे छाड़ी दिया जाए से मन रे छाड़ी दिया जाए जो मानकर छोट बेलू पिला मानकर बापा मां नाथ न थांती विभिन्न कारण anyway and we have other organizations too that is called as bal sahajog aims at providing care shelter protection education vocational training and rehabilitation to working class children including socially handicapped and maladjusted children. It is a premier institution for prevention and the cure of juvenile vagrancy and delinquency in the community. The service offered are the 3 types: community based, institutional based and after care and follow up services. So these are the organizations working at the national level for the welfare of the for the small young children. And we have another organization called as Bharatiya Adimo Jati Sevak Sangha. In our country, we have a large number of people living in backward tribal areas. तेणु सेमानंकर उन्नति पाई सेमानंकर शिक्षा पाई सेमानंकर पिला माननको उचित दिग्दर्शन दवा पाई we have one organization that is called as Bharatiya Adimo Jati Sevak Sangha जे कि एभलिया पिला माननको सेमाने in the field of education the sangha runs primary middle and secondary schools ashram schools and hospitals etc specially for the tribal girls छोट छोट माने आदिम आदिवासी माने अंकर पिला माननको पाई छोट छोट झियो माननको पाई सेमाने हॉस्टल व्यवस्था करथन शिक्षा व्यवस्था मध्य करि अछंती we have also Harijan Sevak Sangha. Mahatma Gandhi taught us to make efforts to eradicate the social evils of untouchability for our country. आम देश रे जो अनटचेबिलिटी बा अस्पृश्यता भाव अछि से भाव को शेष करबा पई महात्मा गांधी जो प्रयास करिथिले सेही प्रयास र से चिन्ह स्वरूप we have still working the Harijan Sevak Sangha जार काम होची हरिजन मानकर बा जो माननको आमे अस्पृश्य बोली आगुर मने करूथिले सेमानकर केमते शिक्षागत सामाजिक बौद्धिक विकास हे परिबो से पिलामन के उचित शिक्षा दिया जाय परिबो से विषय रे सेमाननको सहयोग and we have one important organization that is also international organization we have and the branch is here located at India that is called as Indian Red Cross Society by IRCS which is having branches all over the सबु राज्य रे सेमानकर ब्रांच अछि एवं इंडियन रेड क्रॉस सोसाइटी रन्स मोबाइल मेडिकल यूनिट dispensaries maternity hospitals TB hospitals dahi training centers and hospitals for the disabled. It also runs centers for the mentally retarded, hearing impaired and visually impaired children. It provides special services for women, for example, by way of craft and training centers and hostels for working women. Indian Red Cross Society ro kamo bahut. Indian Red Cross Society कहले जे केवल रक्तदान शिविर ऑर्गेनाइज करे ता नुहे समस्त प्रकार रो सामाजिक उत्थान पई जो माने सब डाउन ट्रोडन अछंती जो माने सोशली डिप्राइव्ड बा इकोनॉमिकली डिप्राइव्ड से मानन पई बहुत कार्यक्रम इंडियन रेड क्रॉस सोसाइटी माध्यम रे करा जाय रक्तदान थोड़ा आरंभ करी से मानन को शिक्षा से मानन को सामाजिक विकास मानन को अर्थनैतिक विकास सब काम रे केमती सहयोग दे पेरो सेटा रेड क्रॉस सोसाइटी में so child in need institute ba CINI child in need institute popularly known as CINI was set up in Daulpur village in West Bengal in 1974. It's recently established. The organization aims to provide low-cost health care to mothers and the children in the community, those who are deprived of medical assistance. Basically, three types of services are provided. These are health services for women and children, women's welfare services, and training of personnel. The ICDS supervisors are also trained by this organization. Then we have another organization that is called as Balakanji Bari. Balakanji Bari literally means children's garden. Here the aim is to provide children an atmosphere for harmonious growth. Balakanji Bari aims to work for physical, mental, moral and social development of the children. The motto of this organization is education and enjoyment of learning. The education should not be considered as a burden, rather the children should feel that it is never a burden, it is rather a process of enjoyment. To imbibe this spirit of this type of feelings among the young children, the Balakanji Bari is to work and provide them the happy and enjoyable learning equipments. So at the adult education centers, people are informed about how to get rid of social evils. Balakanji Bari has its headquarters in Mumbai and branches in Andhra Pradesh, Assam and West Bengal. Then we have another organization that is called as Bureau of Child Welfare and Research. Bureau of Child Welfare and Research, Bal Kalyan Evam Anusandhan Parishad is a national level organization. It was started in 1959 with the objective of promoting the cause of children. Located in Uttar Pradesh, the Bureau attempts to work with various child welfare organizations in other states in the country. The main aim of the Bureau are to investigate problems of children and collect relevant data, to prepare child welfare plans and set up child welfare organizations, to train child welfare workers, to pursue government and local bodies to implement child development programs. These are all about the organizations, and we have other organizations too that we can call as international volunteer organization. We have international volunteer organizations like one is Save the Children Fund, SAFE, SCF, Save the Children Fund. In 1919, just after World War I, Save the Children Fund was founded in the United Kingdom. It is concerned with long-term welfare of children in hunger, sickness and need. Because Prathama Vishwayuddha pare pare, United Kingdom of England, Britishers, they established a type of organization which was named as Save the Children Fund. And the purpose of this fund was to provide children, those who are deprived of food and deprived of medical attention and any other needs of this type of children. The fund provides for children irrespective of country, nationality, race, caste or religion. The aim is to serve the interest of children wherever they are troubled by conditions of hardship and distress. तांकर उद्देश्य हैला ये जो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो कराए सेव द चिल्ड्रन फंड सेठी कोनोसी जाति वर्ण धर्म निर्विशेष रे जो पिला मानकर आवश्यकता अछि समस्त को ये सब निर्विशेष तांको दिया जाउ उचित जहार खाद्य दरकार ता खाद्य दिया जाउ जहार शारीरिक असुस्थता पई सुस्थता पई मेडिकल केयर दरकार ता मेडिकल केयर दिया जाउ जहार शिक्षा दरकार ता शिक्षा दिया जाउ समस्त को सब प्रकार सुविधा सुयोग जुगेबा irrespective of their caste, creed, religion or say nationality, This organization works to provide facilities for this type of deprived children throughout the globe. And in India, SCF initiated its efforts by assisting Tibetan refugees in 1959. The fund provided for education and health of children and mothers in Tibetan settlements in North India. Later, a base office was set up in Delhi in 1975. SCF now provides money for various kinds of projects and sponsorship. Projects are generally for the group of people or communities, while sponsorship are mainly for individuals. Then it has a lot of projects like development services, working with communities, emergency relief. So all such activities are being organized by them. Then sponsorship, and we have, if we want to be sure that a particular child family group of children are helped effectively over a period of time, we have to ensure this help directly. SCF, I mean the Save the Children Fund, invites people to take up these sponsorships. Thus, the sponsorship people who pay enter into a commitment to help these individuals' families for a certain period. Then we have Cooperative for American Relief Everywhere. This is an international organization that is called as CARE. Cooperative for American Relief Everywhere. It means everywhere, wherever it is needed. This, in fact, was set up. Initially, it was set up to provide relief supplies to people affected by war in Europe. The headquarters of CARE is at Newark. CARE has been operative in India since 1950 under the Indo-CARE Agreement. The headquarters of CARE in India are at New Delhi. CARE India undertakes programs in 14 states and 2 union territories. Now it is spread over all over the country, and it has also branches, and one branch is also there, office located at Bhubaneswar also. And we have Catholic relief services. Catholic bishops, they used to organize different type of relief services, which includes the provision of food, provision of healthcare, provision of education for the children, those who are in need of that. Then we have UN agencies. We have United Nations agencies. The United Nations agencies, UNICEF, United Nations Children's Fund. You must be aware about that. This organization was set up immediately after the World War II, because World War II has destroyed a large number of people, soldiers. So naturally, UNICEF began as a concern for millions of children who were starving and sick as victims of World War II. To save their lives, the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, was created by United Nations General Assembly in 1946 through UNICEF. Some 60 countries provided supplies such as milk, blankets, shoes, clothing, medicines, etc. to the children in 14 war-affected countries. This was a unique emergency program. Never before was such a large-scale humanitarian effort carried out at an international level. ଏଇଭଳିଆ ଗୋଟେ ଅର୍ଗାନାଇଜେସନ ଯିଏକି ଯେ 1900 वर्ल्ड वार टू परठारु आरंभ होइतिला 1946 मसियारे यूएन जनरल असेंबली पास हेकि आरंभ होइतिला एवं से पूरा विश्व को आज पर्यंत भी दे आर प्रोवाइडिंग फंड फॉर द वेलफेयर ऑफ द डिप्राइव्ड चिल्ड्रन. As you know, a large number of children in developing countries remain trapped in a cycle of hunger, disease, ignorance and poverty. जो पिला माने deprived of food, deprived of education, deprived of social welfare, the UNICEF fund used to help them to grow in a positive sense. In 1953, the UN General Assembly extended its mandate indefinitely, and the terms international and emergency were dropped. Thus, the full form of UNICEF was changed to United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, United Nations Children Fund, not Emergency Children's Fund. Now it has been changed. Then we have another international organization which used to work for the welfare of the deprived children, that is called as World Food Program. The World Food Program was established jointly by United Nations and the Food and Agriculture Organization in the year 1963. The basic aim was to provide food to the needy in the developing countries. World Food Organization, World Food Program plays a significant role in meeting emergency situations arising from disasters. Under Human Resources Development, World Food Program aims at improving the health and skills of the next generation. Since 1976, World Food Program has been assisting the supplementary nutrition program in 10 states in India. Then we have another organization which basically takes care of the health hazards of the people living in the deprived of general health facilities. That is called as World Health Organization. The World Health Organization is an international agency established in 1948 to protect and promote health among all the people of the world. Say, to provide health services to the entire globe, the World Health Organization was established in the year 1948. The World Health Organization is governed by the World Health Assembly, consisting of 156 member nations. Now it has increased to almost 200 countries are the members of that organization. The Southeast Asia office of WHO is at New Delhi. The World Health Organization's activities in India, which has been a member of the organization since its inception in 1948, cover a wide field ranging from research, disease prevention, and control to health education and manpower development. So World Health Education, and Sarira Madhyam Kholudharma Sadhanam, Sarira Thile Sabukatha Achi, different organizations are there, those who are taking care of the initial development of the children. So this is the part of the early childhood care and education, because you see, and these are volunteer organizations, these national organizations, these government as well as volunteer organizations, they used to work together for the upliftment of the deprived children. Because you see that if the children will not grow up, naturally, after a few years, will not get good quality of citizens. Quality of citizen will be deteriorated. That's why all the national, international, and local organizations, they are taking maximum interest on the child development projects, and I hope that these child development programs will be successful and will have a better tomorrow. So with this, we have completed about the block 1 of your Dece 3, services and programs for children, under which we have discussed 3 important aspects. One is perspectives of what we call early childhood care and education, and the second part we have discussed about the contributions or thoughts of different international and national educationists on the early childhood care and education, and thirdly we have discussed about the different voluntary as well as government, state level and international level and national level organizations which are working for the welfare of the children throughout the globe. And then we have another thing that is to be discussed, that is Dece 3 Unit 2, children with special needs. This is one of the most important part of early childhood care and education. If you have gone through that, you must have gone through a story, a life sketch written by one of the participants of this Indira Gandhi National Open University. So you see, there are children with special needs. आमे सबु पिला माने सेमाने तांको जागारे सेमाने यूनिक, एवरी चाइल्ड इज ए यूनिक क्रिएशन, नो डाउट अबाउट इट, जो कथा आमे काली मध्ये आलोचना कर जेतु पिला माने यूनिक एंड किछि पिला माने मध्ये थांती जो मानकर किछि फिजिकल डिफॉर्मिटीज बा डिसेबिलिटीज मध्ये थाए, से डिसेबिलिटीज ता सहजरे जणा न पडिले मध्ये परवर्ती पर्याय ड्यूरिंग देयर ग्रोथ इट इज बीइंग आइडेंटिफाइड, and if as parents, as teachers, as responsible citizens, if we will not encourage the children, those who are having some deformities in them, they will not feel safe in this state. So therefore, early childhood care and education gives emphasis on the children with special needs. Under this, understanding the special children, how to understand these special children? That is most important aspect. केमती तांको बुझिबा. Explain what is children's need. Who are the special children? Who माने special children? समस्ते तो special मु कहली. जेमती कि as we have said earlier, for a student of child development, the word special children has a very specific meaning. To understand this, let us go back to our childhood for a while. Perhaps as a child, you were better than your sister when it came to studying. Maybe your friend could get along with people easily, whereas you were always the shy one. An improvement opened gradually to others. You may have had a class fellow whom others called a dreamer, the one whose attention was always somewhere else, or perhaps a child who was always into fights with others, and maybe the child who, when it came to writing, would write D as B and P as D, but gradually overcome this with a little patience and efforts on the part of the teacher. So you see, each child is different. आमे जेतोळे पिला थिले केमिति हमर समय कटुथिला केमिति आमे सांगमान सहित समय काटुथिले केते प्रकार रो पिला थिले के खाइबा को भल पाउतला के खेलिबा को भल पाउतला के गार्डन रे काम करियो भल पाउतला के पाठ पढिबा को भल पाउतला के लोकन सहित मिसुथिला के लोकन सहित लोकन देखिले लुचि जाउथिला एमती विभिन्न प्रकार रो पिलांक सहित मिसि चंदी पिला बेले पाठ पढला बेले एवं सेमान को आजे जे चिल्ड्रन विथ स्पेशल नीड्स. So such differences make each child an individual. एवला डिफरेंस थाइकरी मध्य प्रत्येक शिशु जने व्यक्ति रे परिणत होंती एवं as the early childhood education should pay attention to these things. Here is one example. Rupa is an 8-year-old girl. At first glance she looks like any other 8-year-old, but after some times notice that she stays fixedly at one place. Her eyes do not scan the surroundings as do ours, even when we are in repose. If you talk to her, she does not look at you directly, but keeps her face little averted. She talks just like any 8-year-old and converses intelligently. She studies in a school for the blind in Standard 2. When I went to her house, she showed me some of her books which were written in Braille. As she was reading from the book, we were interrupted by her younger brother, who, intent on doing some mischief, teased her and snatched her books away. Rupa ran after him to get her book back, and there followed the usual noisy scene. Rupa seemed very comfortable in moving around the house. She did not bump into the furniture as she chased her brother. So there are different types of stories like this. Some are physically impaired, some are visually impaired, some are hearing impaired. So some are mentally retarded. There are different type of children, and as a teacher, as a social worker, we must pay attention to these things, and we must pay special attention to these type of children with deformities. Areas crucial to normal functioning. Vision. Normal functioning रे vision हला गोटे मुख्य समस्या हो जाए. जेतोळे आमे किछि देखि न पारंती न देखिला जिनसटा जते सहज रे बुझि हबो न देखिला हम ताको सेते सहज रे बुझि परिबा नै. What are the things that will be affected the most if one has no vision? Primarily one's ability to move around and reading and writing. In other words, vision is important for learning in the home and in the classroom. All of us vary in our visual acuity. Some of us having excellent eyesight, being able to read even distant signs. We have different, that can be divided into 4 types. One is one type of person with visual excellence, that is called excellent visually. and another type that is called as average, and another type that is called as partial sight, and there are people, those who cannot see anything, that is cannot see at all. So there are a range of visual activity from starting from 0 to excellence. It is when the child's eyesight falls so low that she cannot read normal print and some special means have to be devised to help her read that she is considered a child with special needs. ଯେତେବେଳେ ପିଲାଟା ପଢି ପାରେ ନାହିଁ, ଆମେ ଦେଖୁଛନ୍ତି ଲକ୍ଷ୍ୟ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ପିଲାଟା ବହି ଠିକ ଭାବରେ ପଢି ପାରୁନାହିଁ, ତାକୁ ଆମେ ଧରି ନେବା ଯେ ସେ ଗୋଟେ ଚାଇଲ୍ଡ ୱିଥ୍ ସ୍ପେଶାଲ ନିଡ୍ସ, ତାକୁ ଆମେ ସ୍ପେଶାଲ ଆଟେନସନ ଦେବା ଉଚିତ। ସେମିତିକା ହିୟରିଂ ରେ ମଧ୍ୟ ସେମିତି ଯେମାନେ ଏକ୍ସେଲେଣ୍ଟ ଲାଇକ୍ ଆଥଲେଟ୍ସ, ଯୋଉମାନେ କି ଏକଦମ ଯୋଉମାନେ କି ଏକ୍ସେଲେଣ୍ଟ ହିୟରିଂ, ତାଙ୍କର ବହୁତ ଯେତେ ସ୍ଲୋରେ କଥାବାର୍ତ୍ତା କଲେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଠିକ ଭାବରେ ଶୁଣି ପାରନ୍ତି। ଆଉ କିଛି ଥାନ୍ତି ଆଭରେଜ, ଟିକେ ଜୋର ଜୋର କହିଲେ ଶୁଣିବେ। ଆଉ ଜଣେ ପାର୍ସିଆଲ ହିୟରିଂ, ଗୋଟେ କାନକୁ ଶୁଭୁଥିବ, ଗୋଟେ କାନକୁ ପାର୍ସିଆଲି ଶୁଭୁଥିବ, ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କାନକୁ ବିଲକୁଲ ଶୁଭୁନଥିବ, ଏମିତି ପିଲା ଥାନ୍ତି। ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ପିଲା ଅଛନ୍ତି ଯୋଉମାନଙ୍କ କାନକୁ ବିଲକୁଲ ଶୁଭୁନଥାଏ। ତେଣୁ ଆମେ ଏସବୁକୁ ଧ୍ୟାନ ଦେଇକରି ତାଙ୍କ ପ୍ରତି ସ୍ପେଶାଲ ଆଟେନସନ ଦେଲେ they can learn in a better way. Then we have movement, ଯୋଉଟା କହନ୍ତି ଆମେ physical handicap ବୋଲି, ଯୋଉମାନେ those who cannot walk properly. This is the third area which is important for optimal development. Not being able to move like most others can affect a child's life in many ways. It is possible that some children who have difficulty in movement can move around with the use of sticks or crutches or a wheelchair. Others may not be able to move at all and are completely immobilized. All the children for whom normal movement is not possible are special children, since they need some special equipment to help them overcome or reduce their difficulty. Excellent like athletes, ଯୋଉମାନେ ଏକଦମ କ୍ଷିପ୍ର ଗତିରେ ଦୌଡ଼ି ପାରନ୍ତି, ଚାଲି ପାରନ୍ତି, ଆଥଲେଟ୍ ଭଳିଆ ଖେଳି ପାରନ୍ତି। ଆଉ କିଛି ଥାନ୍ତି ଯୋଉମାନଙ୍କର ଫିଜିକାଲ ମୁଭମେଣ୍ଟ ଟିକେ in comparison to athletes, excellence one little reduced, that is called as average, and can move partially, धीरे धीरे बाड़ी धरी बा धरिकी जाई पारंती। ଆଉ କିଛି ଜଣ ଥାନ୍ତି ଯୋଉମାନେ କି totally incapable of movement, totally mobile, unable to move one place to other. Then we have another type of special children, that is called as communication, from the communication point of view. That is what we call they cannot speak properly. So this refers to one's ability to understand others and make oneself understood. Clearly, this is important as far as our ability to understand concepts and form relationship with people is concerned. We rely primarily on words for communication. So individuals who have a difficulty in speaking or hearing have a communication problem. Some children cannot speak at all, while some can speak but with great difficulty, having to stammer or stutter. In some cases, the child's speech and hearing are normal, but there is some damage to the part of the brain responsible for understanding language. Such a person will also have difficulty in communicating. As in the earlier cases, we can depict people's abilities in communication along a range, from good communicators to those who cannot communicate at all. In this case, we are only referring to communication using words. Children who have some problem in communicating are special children. जोमाने कम्युनिकेशन रो प्रॉब्लम थाए, कथा कहबार असुविधा थाए, सेमानकु चिल्ड्रन विथ स्पेशल नीड्स बोली निया जाए। Then socio emotional relationships. This dimension refers to how we relate to others in our day-to-day living. The relationship we form with people and our emotions. Some individuals find it easy to form relationship with others. They are well liked, respected and sought out. Most of us have our share of ups and downs in relationships. But there are some who do not get along with people at all. This may be extremely shy person who just does not talk to anyone, does not have friends and prefers to be herself himself, or the extremely aggressive individual or the one who repels any effort at friendship. It is difficult to state precisely that a person has a socio-emotional problem. The socio-emotional problem पिलाटा को चिन्हिबा very difficult. ସେମାନେ ଟିକେ ଏକା ଏକା ରହିବାକୁ ଭଲ ପାଆନ୍ତି ବା ସେମାନେ too much aggressive ହେଇପାରନ୍ତି ବା too much shy ମଧ୍ୟ ହେଇପାରନ୍ତି. So anyway, we have to find out quite obviously this will be easy to assess in case of some individuals as compared to others. When a child has difficulty in forming and sustaining relationship with people, she needs help. Such a child has a special need. What special needs of children will निया जाई परिबो काहेकि ना से का सहित मिसी पारेनी का सहित कथा ही पारेनी से सबले दुनिया रे समाज रे निजको एकुटिया एकुटिया मन करे तनु से गोटे this can be treated as a child with special need and special care must be taken so that in future she can be improved. And we have handicap implies the problems of impaired or disabled persons when interacting with the adopting the environment. So एमतिका जो पिला माने अछन सेमान पे special care and about it. So as a worker in the early childhood care and education, our assumptions and attitude towards person with disability kon hoba uchit. Now we should untaught the unteachable. One of the major assumptions that we tend to make when talking of the disabled is that they cannot be helped to improve their level of functioning. We assume that a person who does not have the right hand will never learn to write, or blind person cannot ride a cycle. Statements like the following are common. You look into these statements. Raju is deaf. There is no point in talking to him. Is it wise? It should not be. There is no need to give him this book. He does not understand much and it would be of no use to him. Can Kamala go swimming? But she is spastic child. You know there is no coordination among her limbs. What job will he do? Nobody will employ a person whose right side is paralyzed. It is a waste of money to send Raju to school. He can neither hear, he can nor speak. She has some problem about numbers. I have tried teaching her basic addition, but it seems to be of no use. I have given it up. Arithmetic is not for her. से गणित बिल्कुल सीखी पारिबो नै. But he is blind. What is use of taking him to the flower show? He will only bump into things. Think of, if this will be the attitude, then naturally the children with this type of needs cannot grow properly. So we have to change our attitude. We have to give them special attention. And the things which we are telling now that they will not be able to do, but in future they can prove that yes, they can and they will, they must. These statements assume that nothing can be done to help a disabled child overcome her difficulties and to improve her level of functioning. But do we make such assumptions for ourselves? If you do not know how to knit, do you say that you can never learn? तम जदि बुणी जानी ना हो, तम जदि सिलाई करबा जानी ना हो, तम कोन भावुछ केबे काम करि परिबो? तम जदि आज साइकिल सिखि ना, तम कोन भावुना काल तम साइकिल चलाले सिखि परिबो? तम जदि कार चलेबा आज सिखि ना, तम कोन केबे कहिछ भाबिछ जे मो द्वारा ए काम हो नै बोली? सेमतिका एमानक क्षेत्र रे मध्ये सेमतिका हम माने भाबिबा उचित, सेबला चिंताधारा डेभलप करबा उचित जे ये पिला माने आज हम जहा कहउछन से करि परिबो नाही, किंतु सेमाने भविष्यत रे निश्चय तांगु साहाय्य सहयोग बा उचित मार्ग तांगु प्रदर्शित करा जाई परिबो, ताले सेमाने निश्चय आगु भलो करि पारिबे. At this point it would be pertinent to recall that the way any person functions is determined by two factors. One is capacity, another is range and nature of experiences. This capacity refers to our potential and inherent characteristics which are determined by heredity, Prenatal and early environment, range and nature of experience. This refers to our experiences in the home, the wider family circle, the neighborhood, and the society. Okay, so these are all about what you call the children with special needs who have to be special. Some reflections here. The P.R. Ramanujam, a student of IGNOU, Indira Gandhi National University, has narrated his story, narrated his life sketch. If you go through it, I hope that you can understand it in a better way. What is the importance of the attention must be given to the children with special needs. The author is a reader at Indira Gandhi National Open University, particularly many of our negative emotions. So let's, okay. Children do not generally have negative feelings towards their disabled peers. By and large, they value a child for what he or she can do. If a girl who has difficulty in moving is a good at number games, she is sure to be shot out during such activities. Je chali no paruchi se bhalo lekhi paribo, je bhalo lekhi paru nai se bhalo gote gito gai paribo. Tenu bibhinno pilankara bibhinno prakara anternito guno thae. So we have to look into the development of these type of qualities among them. Sameness in differences. आम भीतर अनेक कथा एक थाए किंतु ता भीतर अनेक डिफरेंसेस मध्ये थाए. That will discuss later on. Now let's discuss about the role of the child care worker. Let's now talk about what you as a child care worker are expected to do if you have a special child in your crèche or preschool center. जदि तम प्रीस्कूल सेंटर रे एमतिका गोटे पिला आसिक पहुंचला कि जार फिजिकल बा मेंटल डिसेबिलिटीज अछि ताहले तमे कोन करि परिबो चाइल्ड विथ स्पेशल नीड्स पे तमे कोन करि परिबो. प्रथम कथा हला वी हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई. वन ऑफ द फर्स्ट थिंग यू हैव टू डू इज यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई अ चाइल्ड विथ अ डिसएडवांटेज. तार कोन डिसेबिलिटी अछि दैट इज टू बी आइडेंटिफाइड. वेदर ही इज हैविंग ओरल प्रॉब्लम, or he is having sight problem, or he is having hearing problem, or he is having physical problem, mobility problem. All such things, or mental retardedness, all such things must be identified by the concerned teacher. Then planning the child's educational program, tapare identify kala pare we have to plan what sort of education will be suitable for him or her. Though this is the work of a person who has specialized in working with the disabled children, it may be a long time before the child can get help from such a professional. In the meantime, you will need to modify your teaching strategy for this child based on her strong and weak aspects. So, special program that you have to plan, and you have to plan, you need to modify, you have to modify your teaching style looking into his special needs. Then communicating with the parents, the next thing that you have to do is, as you have said earlier, it may fall upon you to first communicate with the parent regarding the child's disability. This is a sensitive issue and has to be dealt with great care. Parents will react differently, and it may depend on you how well the parents accept facts. तमे बाप मां को जणेला को पड़ियो कि जणेला बेले यू शुड हैव इनफ ऑफ पेशेंस. You should have a different way to expose the weakness of their child, because no parents are ready to accept the reality in case of their children. So in those type of cases, you have to be very careful. You have to be very, say what you call, चिंताशील हवा उचित, ठीक भाव निज को प्रकाश करवा उचित, so that you can express, you can intimate properly to the parents that these are the basic difficulties, basic problems that is with your children, and how he or she needs special attention, not from the class, but not from the school only, but from the home and family surroundings. And we have to, and another thing that we have to do is we have to develop a self-confidence among the children. आम पाखरे जदि एभा गोटे पिला आसी पहुंची गला दैट फिजिकल डिफॉर्मिटीज अछि मेंटल डिसेबिलिटीज अछि बा किछि इमोशनल प्रॉब्लम अछि हमको तांको पाखा पाखे रहबो पड़िबो एवं तांको भितर गोटे निजर आत्मबल को बढ़ाबो पड़िबो we have to try our best to develop the what you call the self confidence among these children long after the child passes out from your care she has to continue to live in the world and in many cases face hostility and adverse circumstances. Things may or may not turn out favorably for her. How the child faces up to the challenges will depend on the foundation that has been built in the early years. Build in the child a sense of trust. Build in the child a sense of trust, confidence in herself and people, and a positive will. We have to build up that type of things among them. आमे तांको भितर एमतिया गोटे मनोबल दृढ़ मनोबल सृष्टि करबा पई चेष्टा करिबा जदि आम पाखरे एमतिका कोई पिला पहुंचिले आज ए एजुकेशनल वर्कर as a preschool teacher in this type of situation you have to develop confidence among those type of children those who feel that yes they can do they can work they can't they can't answer they can't study they can't do it or do it this or that so we have to develop that type of confidence among them so that the children can develop a positive will in themselves. If we will develop, try to imbibe a positive will in them, then naturally they will have a positive will in themselves. Today we have discussed about two important units. One important unit, the first unit that we have discussed, that was about what we call the different organizations, different voluntary, governmental, national as well as international organizations working for the early childhood care and education. That we have discussed. I discussed some of the very important organizations. In addition to that, there are also local organizations, those are working for this, that you know better. And in the part chapter 2 of this today's discussion, we have discussed about the children with special needs. जो पिलामानंकर किछि स्पेशल नीड अछि hearing impaired ho, visually impaired ho, ba physical disabilities ho, ba mental retarded ho, how to deal with this type of children while you are coming across or interacting with this type of children. How to develop a confidence in them. That is our motto. And today's discussion is complete. And we'll have tomorrow we'll have certain other discussions in which we'll discuss about some of the important aspects of the child with special needs. So this, thank you very much. If you have any problem, any doubts in your mind, feel free to ask me. Okay. If you have any doubt, please feel free to ask me. Now I would like to request Patel Babu to link these participants, those who are joining in this discussion, this particular interactive class, they can point out their point of difficulty so that we can discuss and clarify their doubts. Any problem? Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Hello, Madhusmita? Anyway, so today's program is over, whatever that we want to discuss, we have it. And we'll be discussing about what you call, we'll be discussing about the services for special children and helping parents. Special children services for helping pop-up. These two units that will be discussed. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thanks a lot. Any problem?
Thank you.
You can discuss now. Also, we have enough of time in hand.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Hello?
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any problem? No problem. Very good. Well, understood whatever that we have discussed.
Thank you, sir.
Would you like to say?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sujit Kishore?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One question को?
Sir, mo book nahi. Sir?
तो Okay. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Sir,
Tomorrow, sharp at 10:30 will join here about the two other units, that is services for special children and helping parents to. Okay.
Sir, mo
Paila.
book
Have a nice day.
sir, mo ମାୟାବତୀ ମୁର୍ମୁ କହୁଥିଲି।
Thank you, sir.
So, am I audible? ଶୁଭୁନି କଣ ପାଇଁ?
Sir,
ଶୁଭୁଛି ତ? ହଁ, ଶୁଭୁ.
Hello, sir.
Sir, তাহলে 10:30 ক্লাস আরম্ভ হতো? Understand करेंगे sir इसमें? Hello sir.
ସାର୍ ପଳେଇଲେ। କ୍ଲାସ୍ ହଉଛି 12:15 ହେଲା 12:15 ଯେ ଲାଷ୍ଟ କ୍ଲାସ୍।
ଆରମ୍ଭ ହବ କହିଲେ ଗୋଟେ ଯାକେ ଏଇଟା କଣ ବାପ 10:30ରୁ ଆରମ୍ଭ ହଉଛି ସାର୍ କଣ କହିଥିଲେ?
ସାର୍ କ୍ଲାସ କଲେନି କି? ସାର୍ କ୍ଲାସ କଲେନି କି?
ନା
କଣ ପାଇଁ ଗଲେ ହେରି?